Hey guys, what's up? It's Amber from The Sensible Mama. Today we're here to do something really exciting. This is a first look at the new Jujubee print called Camp TOKI. I'm really excited about doing this video because this is a release that has been highly anticipated. This is the first TOKI release in a long time, and I know people are really excited, but people also have some important questions that they want answered, and I'm going to try to tackle all of that today. I'm going to do a little bit of a chit-chat intro here for a second because there are some things that I want to go over with you related to this release, and I just ask you to resist the impulse to fast forward to the first moment where you see me holding a bag, because there are some things that it's important to me that you hear before we get started, and I would just really appreciate your attention for this first part, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. If you guys have been around the Jujubee community for a while, you know there have been some big changes. New ownership, new management, lots of new faces, and things are just a little bit different, and I think all of us have sensed that, and we feel it. Not just related to the product launches, but just also in general, just the overall vibe and feel of Jujubee. And that's never been more clear to me than it was today when I asked you guys on Facebook and on Instagram to send me questions that you have about these bags from this launch. And the overall sentiment that I got from the questions is unease. I feel like people are uneasy about this launch. People are unsure about the quality. People are questioning whether they can trust that this is going to be the same Jujubee that we all know and love. And so what I'm going to do today, I have not actually taken time to inspect any of these bags. I've taken them out of their poly bags, but I have not really looked at them in depth. And so I'm going to be on camera so that you know there's no funny business, giving you my exact reactions and thoughts about these things. And at the end, I'm going to open up all of your questions from Instagram and Facebook, and I'm going to talk about those as well. I want you to know that it's important to me that I give you an honest review, and I mean, I'm always honest here. I'm going to tell you when I don't like things or when I love them or whatever. I think if you look back through all of my first look videos, it's been really obvious when I have not loved a print or I haven't loved changes that Jujubee has made. But it's important to me, especially now that you guys understand that I'm always going to be honest with you about my opinions. And in this case, I'm following your lead a little bit when it comes to the things I'm going to be focusing on. In the past, the questions that you guys have given me on Facebook and Instagram have been very fun questions, you know, like, what's the lining look like? Can you show a close-up of the zipper pulls or whatever? But this time you guys have some skeptical questions that you want answered, and I'm going to tackle those frankly and honestly. But one thing that I want to be transparent about is that Jujubee is just one of those brands that I am always going to have affection for, simply because Jujubee is the big reason why I met most of you guys. Most of my customers and my subscribers here on YouTube have found me because of Jujubee, and then we formed a relationship apart from Jujubee. But Jujubee really was the catalyst that brought you guys to me and me to you. And so because of that, I'm just always going to have affection for them. You're never going to hear me speak really critically of them unless they do something just morally egregious. But I also think that, like those friends, I think we all have that friend from high school or college who that's your ride or die girl. You just love her, you will never breathe a bad word about her, but sometimes you do kind of have to let her know, hey, we're not loving some of the choices that you're making, and we think that you could do better, and we love you and we'll never stop loving you, but we need to be honest about some things that you've got going on. And I think we've all had that conversation with a friend at one time or another. I have had some of those conversations offline with Jujubee. I'm not a spill the tea kind of person. I prefer to handle those issues that come up between retailers and vendors privately. So I have been having frank conversations with Jujubee for a while, all from a place of love. And I don't tend to talk about those things publicly just because what's the point? So what I want to say in the midst of all that is that I am a Jujubee fan. I will always be a Jujubee fan, but I do think it's important to be honest and critical when the time is right for that. Sometimes the truth hurts. I don't know if the truth is going to be painful or if it's going to feel great today. We're going to see as we get into this video. But first of all, if I have negative things to say about this release in general, I don't want anyone to perceive that as me having a negative opinion of Jujubee, or that my relationship with them has soured or my attitude towards them has soured. Don't read too much into that. This is going to be critical of the bags, not of the brand. And if you don't hear me being critical about these things, then I hope you'll know that you can trust that I am being honest with you and that you can trust the quality of the bags. ultimately my inventory is gonna sell out. I know that, it always does, so I'm not here to try to make sure I get my money back. I'm honestly just here to make sure that you guys know what you're buying and that when you make that purchase through my website, you feel confident knowing that I've been as honest with you as possible. Or just honest. Why do we say as honest with you as possible? Just completely honest. So now that that is out of the way, I do want to say that at the end of this video, watch all the way to the end because that's when I'm going to go in depth to some of your questions that you asked on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also going to give a kind of how-to tip overview of how to make sure that you score on limited release nights like this one is going to be. The launch is happening on Tuesday, July 23rd. There will be trunk shows and then an online release later that night. I will put the times right here because at the moment I cannot remember what the exact time is because it keeps changing release to release. So I'm gonna put that here. Make sure you make note of that. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into this review. I'm gonna start with the Super Bee because that is the bag that has the biggest sort of representation of the print so that you can get an idea of what this print looks like. For this particular release, and I'm gonna show you the bag in a minute, I swear. For this particular release, I decided to take my budget and use it to get the bags that always sell out really fast that everyone is looking for. This is an experiment that I'm doing. I just wanna see how you guys like doing it this way. I just tend to notice that on these limited release nights, often the accessories like the Be Quick, the Be Set, the Be Dapper, the Mini Helix, and other ones that I'm gonna show you today sell out really fast and everyone feels really frustrated. And then the bigger bags stick around longer, so the next morning you can still get a Be Right Back or a BFF or whatever, but you can't get a Be Quick and a Be Set. So I decided to take my budget, the same budget that I always spend on Jujubee launches, and instead throw all of that at the hard to find, hard to score items. The reason for doing that is I just think that more of you guys are gonna be able to get the accessories that you want at the launch time. And then if you want a bigger bag, you can actually go to the Jujubee website or another favorite retailer of yours after you've gotten the hard to find accessories from me and then go get the bigger bags because those will tend to stick around. So I'm gonna show you everything that I have for this launch. Let me go ahead and name what those things are. I have the Super Bee, the Be Light, Be Set, Be Quick, Be Organized, and Mini Helix. I think that's everything, but if there's something that I missed, we'll talk about that too. Also, I have coin purses, which is really exciting. I will tell you at the end of this video how we're gonna go about doing the coin purses for this release. So here is the Super Bee. Let me try to get it. I don't know if you're gonna, let's get it in focus. It's always my favorite thing about every time I do this, trying to get the Super Bee in the shot. So here's the Super Bee. This is always a hot seller and this one is gonna sell really fast. This time, given that it's summer, I think this is a really great summer print. So I think people are gonna be buying this one pretty quickly. Let's give her a turnaround here. I gotta say that overall, I don't know, I've turned off my ring light. I don't have a ring light on at all. This is just natural light from windows right behind me. And I think that you can really see that this is a very, very vibrant coloring. I know that a lot of people had questions about the skyline here. Someone wanted to know, do the bags generally have the skyline up on top? I'm gonna take a random sample of Super Bees a little bit later and we will look at those and see, but I think it's gonna be highly unlikely that every single Super Bee and Be Light is going to have the sky at the top. Like, that's just not feasible. Jujubee would lose a lot of money trying to do print placements like that. But I do think that this print is, I don't know, it's interesting enough that even when the skyline is down at the bottom, it gives an overall really pretty aesthetic. It doesn't feel like some of the other prints that we've had in the past where it was really obvious when the print was like the sky was not on the top, like Animalini. That one was pretty bad. If you had the sky at the bottom, it was really obvious. But I think, like on this side of this Super Bee, we've got the sky in the middle, and I still think it looks really great. On the back, we have the sky on the top here. And I honestly don't think it really makes that big of a difference for the aesthetic of the bag. And you might disagree, but I kind of think either way, it looks good there. Let's get into it and show you the interior lining. I do know just from PR that I've seen that this is a purple lining, so let's go ahead and get in there and take a look at it. Oh wow, that's pretty. One thing that I think is very cool about this launch is that they have made the embossing on the lining bigger than in the past. So the TokiDoki embossing is much bigger, and let me zoom you in and show you. And actually, for the sake of just me not having to keep stopping, I've switched to autofocus instead of manual focus, which means that the lens is gonna zoom in and out as needed for what I'm showing you, but it also means that you might see some lens breathing, which is where it sort of will like focus and unfocus on me for a second. If that happens, I'm sorry. It's just overall better if I do it this way so that you can get a more cohesive kind of look when I show you the bags up close. So let's take a look at the lining together. Okay, so now that we're in focus, it's still kind of hard to see in the lighting that I have here what the embossing looks like. See how the embossing is bigger? I think it's really pretty. It's very, very minimal, right? So it's not like it screams at you, but as I'm turning the bag, you can see that embossing really popping out, which is very, very cool. Overall, I know there were questions about the overall sturdiness and quality. I'm gonna say this feels very sturdy to me. Very, very sturdy. It's almost, do you see how it's holding its shape really well? It's just, look at it, it's staying really boxy. And maybe I should go grab my ... Super Bee, but that Super Bee actually kind of collapses in on itself a little more. This one is really holding its shape, and even when I open it like this, do you see how it's just nice and wide with that opening? I'm gonna say I'm a little bit surprised, just to be totally honest with you, because I know people had questions about quality. This feels really good. It almost feels thicker than Super Bees have felt in the past. Like, this might sound weird, but it almost feels like there's a change pad in the bottle pockets here and on the back as well. I don't know what they did, but it definitely feels really, really sturdy, and I think that is amazing. This'll be easier to see when I get done with the Super Bee. I'm having a very hard time getting the Super Bee to show fully on camera here. Let's get a little close up at the label. These are the new metal labels. I just absolutely love these. They upgraded this a while back, but if you've seen before the fabric tags, now they're fully metal and I think they're gorgeous. And we do have the new design of zipper pulls. So if you recall the old Jujubee, I'm sure you recall, the old Jujubee zipper pulls were just a round circle that said, like they had the TokiDoki logo. Now what we've got is the little diamonds, which looks like this. So you've got the little kind of kawaii diamond on one side and the TokiDoki and Jujubee label on the other. Overall, I've got to say I'm really happy with the quality of this Super Bee. Again, it just feels really sturdy and really, really nicely made. No upside down stitching problems that I see, but we will look at other Super Bees at the end of the video just to see. But one thing you should know is, like always, they do take kind of one swatch of fabric and sew it kind of all the way around this way, around the like perimeter of the bag. So it does get upside down on this side, but that's only because it's literally a strip. I don't know if you can see, but they sew it on like this and all the way around the bag. So you will have one side of the bag that's upside down, meaning one side over here, but both sides are right side up, and I don't see any upside down stitching anywhere, which I know everyone will be happy about. So let's move on to the Bee Light, because that's gonna be a lot easier for me to show you on camera. Okay, here we have the Bee Light. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because this is obviously very much like the Super Bee, it's just smaller. But again, I feel that really nice padded feeling inside of here. There's a peek at the inside lining and the bottle pockets of the Bee Light. Honestly, this feels like regular, good old quality Jujubee, and I say that, I know that there have been some quality issues in the past, but I think overall, if we're all honest with ourselves, the majority of bags that we see, even as a retailer, when I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders of Jujubee, such a small fraction of them have quality issues, or at least have in the past. And sometimes it doesn't look that way on social media when you see people complaining about quality issues, but honestly, when you look at the number of sales that are out there, the number of people who get their hands on these, the number of quality issues is actually kind of small. It may be higher than an industry standard for some releases that we've had in the past, but this feels like regular high quality Jujubee from great launches that have gone well. Now what's that? Hold on, where's my Super Bee? So there is one thing that I just noticed. I showed you my Super Bee here. Let's take a look at the metal tag again. Okay, so here is a perfect tag. So you can see there, that's what the tag looks like. Now let me show you my Bee Light. Do you see this right here? I don't know what that is. It's like some kind of little scuff on the metal. I don't know if that's gonna come off. It almost looks like the ink from like coloring the inside of the TokiDoki and the jujube leaked onto this metal piece. This will be one that I'll be pulling from my inventory. Maybe I'll do it as a giveaway or something, and then now I'm gonna go check all of my bee lights to see if that's a problem. Hopefully that's rare. We're gonna look at the tag on every single thing I show you today to see, but that's disappointing. We shouldn't be seeing things like that. But overall, on the rest of the bag, everything looks good. I am disappointed about that scuff on the tag there though. Let's hope we don't see any more of that. All right, let's move on to the next thing that we want to take a look at. I can scoot in a little closer now that I have smaller bags. This is the Be Quick, and a bunch of you guys had questions about whether or not this is the same size as the standard jujube Be Quick that we've seen in the past, or if this is the size of the Rose Quartz Be Quick that came out. Maybe that was the last launch. They did a bigger, upgraded version of the Be Quick. So let me show you first. Let's just really quickly go over this. Here is the original size Be Quick. And here is Camp Toki. So what we've got here is more like the Rose Quartz Be Quick, which I actually think is pretty cool. This is the old jujube Be Quick, and as you can see, it is flimsy, which I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it folds. You know, a lot of people like to fold up Be Quicks and put them inside their Be Light, and then they use this for, like, if they need a catch-all bag or something. So this was a very, very just kind of bendy, again, flimsy, but not in a bad way, bag. The new Be Quick feels more like a clutch, and I spoke about this when I did my Rose Quartz video, which I don't think I did on YouTube. Maybe that was on Facebook. But it does feel a lot sturdier, I think. And we're gonna open it up in a minute and look at everything that comes inside of it. Here, look, you wanna see Donatella? There she is, look at that cutie. This Be Quick actually has really great placement for those of you who are into the sky being on the top. Like, I think this Quick could not have better print placement in that regard. Look at that. So a few things that I know you guys are going to be interested in. One is the hardware. So as you can see, this is a new redesigned hardware. I'm going to bring it up close for you. This is what the new hardware looks like. It's quite different than what we've seen from the last, let me go ahead and peel that off there. Quite different than what we've seen in old jujube Be Quicks. This is still a lobster claw, as you can see there. It is a swivel clip, so it is gonna swivel. That means that you won't get your strap all kind of like turned around and twisted, which is excellent. I'm gonna say though, let's look at how this goes on. Can we get up close here? All right, so I'm holding the D-ring in this hand, and let's put it on. It goes on really well. There's nothing wrong with how that goes on. I do kind of miss the old hardware. Let's look at that. Here's the old hardware from jujube. It just looks like a standard lobster claw, as you can see here, which I kind of like having this little thing that my thumb is on. That just tends to make it a little bit easier to get on and off. However, I guess it's kind of nice that this one will just go right on without you having to do much. So here we go. It goes on fine. It goes on fine. I don't think that you need to have the little thumb latch like I like on the old Be Quick, but it is just a very different looking clasp than we've seen before. Now, one of the things that is really cool about this redesign is that now this short strap is completely removable. It's attached right now with a like a zip tie or whatever, but we're gonna remove it just so you can see. Okay. So again, this is attached with a zip tie, but this does come all the way off. So if you wanted to carry this more just like an under the arm kind of clutch without having a strap, you could absolutely do that. But what's also kind of neat is that now you have a long strap as well. Okay, girl, I got scared for a minute. So I don't know if I'm gonna leave that in the video because honestly, this is not a quality issue. This was just a weird thing that happened with this particular Be Quick. But I thought we had a sticky zipper issue. But actually what has happened is there is like, hold on, I'm just gonna bring this in. Can you guys see right here? There's like a tag, the remnants of a bag tag stuck in the zipper. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how that got in there, but that made it really hard for me to unzip this. I just got out my little baby nail clippers because it's weird. I don't know if they meant to do this or if this was just an accident. We'll look at some other Be Quicks. But there's like there's a bag tag, like, you know, when you buy a bra or something, there is like these little plastic pieces that hold the tag on. There's one of those actually stuck in the zipper. There we go. So yeah, that was like stuck inside the zipper. Now it's zipping fine, but I don't really know what that was doing in there. We're gonna open up another Be Quick in a minute and we'll see if, I don't know why they would do that, but maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Here's the inside of the Be Quick. It's very pretty, nice and roomy. It is a little bit bigger Be Quick, which means you'll be able to fit a few more things in it. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to go on like Instagram stories and show you how cloth diapers or something fit in here. I'm happy to do that. This video is already getting a little long, so I'm not gonna do it here. Now, you get a long strap with the Be Quick as well, which I think is fantastic. That means that you can either wear this without any strap at all and just tuck it under your arm like this, which is usually how I carry mine. You can put the long strap on it. You can either put that strap all the way across because there are 2 D-rings, or you can just loop it over and put it on one side if you prefer for it to be like a wristlet, or you can take this and do it crossbody. Now, I have not tried using one of these crossbody. I have seen a lot of reviews that people say this is very long and that it is longer than the Be-Set straps that we're used to. As I roll this up, let me talk about my impressions so far. So far, I feel like the overall quality of the bags, like the material and the fabric, is really good. Like, I actually feel really, really good about how well they're made. I honestly feel like the stitching probably feels better than it's felt in a long time. Like, it feels good to the touch, it feels sturdy, it feels durable. It feels really, really nice, and I'm being totally legit about that. I'm seeing just a couple little concerns, like that spot that we saw on the Be Light metal tag and that weird tag that was stuck in the zipper here. Again, we'll keep looking and see if that happens in other Be Quicks. You know, every release there is going to be a small number of imperfections and inconsistencies. I'm concerned that we've seen 2 already, but let's keep looking and let's see how we feel as we go. Here we have the Be-Set, and I think this is a really good example of how this print can look good even when the sky or the top of the print is not at the top. I still think this is an adorable print. Again, here we have sort of a sky in the middle situation on the front and a sky on the top situation on the back. I do think it does look cuter with the sky on top, but honestly, it does not look bad when the sky is in the middle. I really, truly feel that way. Stitching feels fantastic on this. It just all around feels really, really high quality. I see no imperfections on the tag on this one. It's actually looking really, really good. So let's open it up and take a look. Okay, I see. Now we know the problem with the Be Quick, and it's not a problem. I see what they're doing. You wanna see right here? So you see this? This is what you wanna watch out for. What they've done is they have put a tag right in front of the zipper. And I guess they've done that to keep the bag from opening up in transit and I guess the different parts of the bag spilling out, which I'm actually relieved to see. This means that they did this on purpose. That wasn't a quality issue that we saw a second ago. So what you're gonna wanna do when you get this so that you don't make the mistake that I did is you wanna go ahead and get that out before you try to pull the zipper, because if that gets stuck in your zipper pull, it is kind of hard to get the bag unzipped. Again, now I see why they did that. They just really wanted to make sure that this wasn't coming unzipped through the manufacturing process. But if you have like a little pair of scissors or some baby nail clippers, just use that to get that tag out of there so that you don't have a zipper problem. I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. Okay, so that comes out no problem. If you snip one side, you can get the other side out, and now look, no problem at all. So good, I'm happy, I'm relieved to see that. So if you're new to Jujubee, this is the B set. It comes with 3 different pieces, and this is the large piece that I have been showing you. Inside of that, you do get a medium piece. And let's take a look at how the print looks as we get into the smaller pieces. I actually think that looks really cute. And here, again, we have the sky on the bottom, but it still looks pretty cute to me. I don't think you're going to be devastated if you get print placement with the sky on the bottom, even with these smaller bags. I think it's really cute. You'll see there. Okay, let's take a look at the small piece. Ooh, this is cute placement on this small piece. Look at that. That is really cute. Okay. Overall, the quality still feels really, really good. Again, I don't know what it is with this fabric that's different, but it feels thick and just extremely durable. There's a peek at the inside. Everything has got these little silica beads in it to keep it nice and dry and from getting damaged in transit, which I think is great. Now, let's see, where are our straps? Yes, you get straps in the, you'll find those in the large set piece, and you get a short strap and a long strap, just like you get with the Be Quick. I'm not gonna untie these because these are identical, I believe, to what you get in the Be Quick, so I'm gonna put those back. I feel, again, very, very relieved now that I have seen why that little tag was there. It definitely makes me feel like, all right, that was planned, that was done on purpose, that was not something that happened by a fluke, you know what I mean? So there we have the B set. I don't see any kind of flaws on the nameplate, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing that I'm gonna show you. This is the Be Organized. It is a 3-piece set, just like the B set. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this because it's not like you can really get a great idea of the print on this particular item. But what you do get if you're new to Jujubee is a large piece that looks like this. I love using these for packing changes of clothes. I use these when I'm traveling to put like each of my kids' clothes inside of the large piece. It is fantastic for that. I don't see any big changes to the design of this. Unlike what the Be Quick, we saw a little bit of a change, but I don't see any changes here. Here we have the medium piece, which is just slightly smaller. I used this all the time when I was cloth diapering because you could fit like 6 to 8 cloth diapers in there, and you could toss it in your diaper bag and it's still really small, which is fantastic. You cloth diapering moms know it can be so hard to get cloth diapers in your diaper bag and have enough, so I just love that piece for that. And then here's the small piece. Looks like this. Lots of people like using this as like a medi kit, so you can put medicine and things in it. I could be wrong, but this looks like it's a little bit deeper than prior versions. Now again, I'm not going, don't quote me on that, and I don't have a small piece around, and I'm certainly not going in my napping kids room to get one out right now, but I feel like it's a little bit thicker, like a little bit deeper, you know what I mean? Maybe you can pack a few more things in it, because I remember my DSS small piece is so flat that like when I put Tylenol and the dropper in there, it pretty much took up the whole space. Again, in my effort to try to make sure that I'm doing everything authentically in this video and not tainting my review, I tried to really not watch, I don't know if anyone else has put out a video. This is Wednesday, I haven't seen anybody do a video yet, but I've tried to not read too many of the comments that people are talking about from the content creators. I've tried not to read too much about changes that were made because I really wanted to just be authentic in this video. But so if there's any questions that I have after doing this or that you have, I'll definitely address those down in the comments or in the description box as well. Okay, let's talk about the mini Helix next. This is a fan favorite. This is one of those things that always sells out really, really, really fast we have a lot of them. And that's one thing that I am really proud of with this launch, is that even though I don't have the full line, what I do have, I have lots of. And I think it's gonna be so much easier to score these items than it usually is on release nights, because I just have a ton of them. And I did that on purpose because I always feel so bad for you guys when the launch happens and I see that these popular items, they sell out just within seconds, and then everyone is disappointed. So the mini Helix is like a miniature version of the standard Helix. That dang tag thing. I really hate that I have to take these off to show you, because I know somebody is gonna watch this video and then they're gonna get this one and they're gonna be like, mine didn't have that tag on it. And I'm gonna be like, well, you're famous. You got the mini Helix from my video. That one was actually really hard to get out. Jujubee, I know that you probably had good reasons for doing that, but I don't love that. That was painful. Okay, so here's the inside of the mini Helix. Again, what this comes with is a long strap that looks like this. Again, this has the a different kind of hardware than we've seen before. Let me get it up close for you. So here's the hardware. It's just a little bit different. It feels really nice, actually. It's nice and thick and sturdy, which is fantastic. But again, it doesn't have a thumb clasp. It's more of just the hook it straight on to the bag kind of thing. No thumb clasp over here. Now, am I crazy, or did this used to come with a change pad? I could have sworn the mini Helix came with a change pad, like a little tiny one. Maybe I'm wrong. Was that the mini? Maybe that was the itty bitty bee. This does not come with a little change pad. So if you were looking for your child to use this as a real like miniature diaper bag, just know that this one does not come with a change pad, but you do get that long strap with it. A lot of people are wearing this like crossbody. Sometimes they'll use that strap and wrap it around their waist and use it like a fanny pack. This one is not like the one that we saw at Rose Quartz, which had straps on the back for you to loop your belt through. So this to me looks just like the mini Helixes that we've seen in the past. I don't see any obvious changes to the design on this, but again, I will update down below if there was a major update. I'm kind of disappointed that it doesn't have those straps back here to put your belt through, because I thought that was a really genius thing that they did at the Rose Quartz launch, but it looks like they chose not to do that for this release. Now let's take a look at the Dapper. Guys, this little item right here is so highly sought after, and I get it. If you're a cloth diapering mom, this is fantastic for cloth diapering. It's a lot like the Berry Pod, which holds a ton of diapers. This does the same. So back when I was cloth diapering, this one was another go-to for me for putting my cloth diapers in. It's got a nice big front zipper pocket here. Not very deep, so it's not like you can fit just a ton of things in there, but if you have like a small, maybe butt paste or something that you want to put in there, it fits really nicely. What I do with my Dapper actually is I keep one full of toys in my car, so that way I don't always feel like I have to pack toys for my kids in my diaper bag. Like if we're just planning on going to Kroger or something and I know that they don't really need toys because they're so interested in just looking around, I don't want to pack toys for them in that case. But if we end up at a restaurant, I love having a Dapper in my car that is just packed to the brim with toys, and I just grab that. Roman carries it into the restaurant, and then I'm like constantly changing up the toys that are in it in hopes of having a good restaurant experience, because they're not bored with the toys that are in there. Again, I don't really see any changes to the design here based on old versions that I'm used to. Again, it feels really high quality, very durable, and I really cannot get over how good this quality feels. It feels so dense. I think dense is the word that I've been looking for. It's just so durable, and it still feels lightweight, but the material feels heavier, if that makes sense. It feels like a higher quality kind of fabric or material to me. I don't know. It feels really good. I think the print, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I always mention this in my first look videos of how the print looks on the smaller bags, and I think it does really well. It's a big enough print that even from far away you can still make out the characters, you can still kind of get the vibe of the print, but on a small bag like this, the characters are small enough that you're not getting, like I always bring up Unikiki, but like that print, the characters were so big that on a bag like this, you got like a mermaid tail, and that was all you got on your bag. And this is just not the case. Even with the small bags, you are going to get full characters on your bag. Like you can see here, I've got several here on my Dapper. So I think that that is really great. I love that about this print. I think the best way to show you that is to actually show you the smallest thing that we have from this release. Let me grab that. JuJuBe was so kind to send us coin purses. We do have a small number of those. Here is the coin purse. Let me show you. Super cute, right? I love these little coin purses. I use them for everything. I always have one in my bag somewhere. And what these are not able to be purchased. These are gift with purchase. And essentially, the way that you go about getting one of these if you go to a trunk show is if you spend $100, you get one while supplies last. Now that presents a little bit of a problem for me because I don't have the big bags, and maybe some of you are planning on buying like a Be Quick or a Be Dapper from me and then go buy a Be Sporty or something from the JuJuBe site or your other favorite retailer. So what I'm gonna be doing is on my launch night, again, which is the 23rd, it's a Tuesday night, everyone who spends $100 or more is guaranteed a coin purse as long as I have enough stock. And I'm doing that because I want to try my best to honor JuJuBe's rule about that. Like I want to make sure that that rule is abided by. So of course, if you spend $100, you are guaranteed to get one as long as we have enough supplies to cover all of those orders. And then if we just don't happen to get enough $100 orders where we still have some of these left over, even after we've given coin purses to all the folks who spent $100, then we will randomly choose winners to receive these in their box as well. I think it's not going to be super hard to spend $100, to be honest. Like there's just any combination of things here, like 2 to 3 things will get you there. So if you're wanting a coin purse, I recommend doing that because we will have them here, and they are super darling and just like, they look really, really cute in this print. So that's everything that I have in this launch. I'm sorry that I don't have some of the other things like the mini B or the mini BFF or the mini B right back. Honestly, those are items, even the mini B, that I have noticed on the decline in terms of how quickly they sell out. The last release, we actually had mini Bs left over the next morning, and I cannot remember how long it's been since that happened. So I made the choice to really focus on the things that always sell out first, and that's why I have what I have. I am a flexible CEO. I am more than willing to not do this again if we don't love this approach, but I just wanted to try making sure that I had a lot of the things that you guys really, really want to have so that more people can score them. I am very fortunate to have, now that my business is 3.5 years old, I have more resources and more budget to throw at these launches. And so I decided, let's spend that money on the things that everyone is always feeling disappointed about on launch night and get those into more people's hands. You know what I mean? So that's what we decided to do. I'm sorry if I don't have something that you're looking for, but I know that Shop JuJuBe and several of the other wonderful online retailers will have those if you can't get them from me. Okay, so now we are gonna open up Instagram and we're gonna look at some of the questions that you guys had. I think I've probably covered a lot of the questions, I hope, but let's go through and let's see if there were any questions that were left unanswered. Is this super limited and likely to sell out? So that's a good question. This launch, every launch from JuJuBe is somewhat limited. But the way that I decided to get around that this time is instead of just having like a couple of every single SKU, and you know there's a lot of products that JuJuBe has in these launches, this time I said I'm gonna take that same budget that I always have and I'm gonna throw it at the things that always run out really fast. So the answer for the sensible mama is that the things that I have are not highly limited. I don't think they'll be around the next morning, so you definitely should get up and shop at the launch time. But I think if you're committed to getting up and shopping at that time, you should not have a problem scoring the things that I've shown you here in this video. If you're shopping with another retailer, it's hard to say. Who knows what decisions they made about quantity and things like that. But for the things that I have here at the Sensible Mama, if you're up at launch time and you're ready to go right when the launch happens, I think you should have no problem getting what you want. Now, I want to make a really clear caveat that the JuJuBe fandom is always changing, right? There's always lately there's people who are leaving JuJuBe and saying they'll never shop JuJuBe again for various reasons, but there's always new people coming in who are diehard brand new fans. So it is kind of hard to predict what the launch nights are going to be like. So I say all of that with a caveat that if you really, really want something, you need to get up at the launch time and shop at the launch time, because even with as much as I have of each of these things, they could sell out fast. Opinions on changes to the new designs. Honestly, For the bags that I have, and I know that there are other bags like the Be Sporty that there's speculations that there's going to be lower quality on those. I wish I could speak to those, but I just don't have those in my order. I suggest watching the content creators videos because I know they'll have their own commentary on some of those bags, but to be honest, everything that I have seen here today has felt like really high quality. I had that one issue of an ink spot on a bag tag, which I'm gonna now inspect all of my inventory, but that was really the only issue that I saw. Overall, the quality feels really, really good, and I just see, like, I'm just scrolling, and there are question and question and question and question after question about quality. I'm gonna say, and who knows, maybe this launch, who knows how this launch is gonna go. I might have to eat my words later, but as I look at all of the stuff that I have here and I touch it and feel it, it feels very high quality to me. It feels like the old Jujube that we know and love. In some ways it feels better because it feels less slouchy. It feels a little bit more durable. So in that regard, I feel really good about it. There are minor hardware changes that I already went over that I don't think affect the functionality of the bag at all. It does change the aesthetic a little bit, but not by much. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the quality and the changes that have been made. Is the lining embossed and is it scratchy from the embossing? So the lining is embossed. I did show you that a second ago. It doesn't feel scratchy, but it's definitely a textured lining. So it's not a satin lining like we've seen in some of the bags. This is a matte textured lining. So if you are super, super sensitive to feelings on your fingertips, you'll feel, it might feel scratchy to you, but to me it just feels textured. Is the lining see-through, i.e. able to see the outside fabric through the inside lining? So I'm guessing what you're planning on doing is you're wanting to know if you're able to turn the Be Light or the Super Bee inside out and still see the print through it. I know a lot of people do this sometimes, is they like just the embossed lining on the Toki bags, so they turn the Be Light or the Super Bee inside out and carry it that way. If you've never seen that little hack, here's what it looks like. So now, isn't that cute? A lot of people will remove that tag right there, but now you have this kind of TokiDoki lined bag with still the Camp Toki handles, and then you see the print on the inside there. It's super cute. I do not see it being see-through at all. I mean, to me, that looks pretty good. I'm in pretty direct sunlight, like there's just a row of windows here behind me, and even in that direct light, it doesn't seem see-through at all to me. Is the quick like rose quartz with foam padding and new size? Yes, it is. I talked about the size, but I did not mention that it does have that foam feeling on the inside of it, so it's a little bit more padded. Like I said, it almost feels like there's a change pad inside of here, even though there's not. What are the changes on hardware, etc. on the sets? We already talked about that. Super Bee straps and pockets are the same. Yes, well, I know the straps are the same. Let's take a look at how deep these pockets are on the Super Bee. Yep, all the way down. See that? On both sides, just like the old style. Oh, one difference that I see here is that this middle part does not zip any longer. And that's kind of a bummer to me because that's where I like to keep my pool pass for our pool. But this middle pocket now goes all the way down. You see that? Which before, like in my ... Super Bee, I believe it only goes halfway down, which is why I like putting my pool card in there. But now you do have 3 bottle pockets that go all the way down, and the middle pocket does not zip. Do all the Super Bees and lights have the print the right way, meaning is the grass at the bottom and the sky at the top of the bag? The sky also seems to turn into a lake from what I've seen of it. From what I've seen of past Toki releases, they don't cut and place them all the same, hence why ladies seek perfect print placements. So no, they're not going to all have the sky at the top, but one thing that I wanted to take a look at was the stitching here. I can't remember, maybe it was Sushi Cars or C-Punk, I can't remember which release it was, but like all of the Super Bees had an upside down stitch right here. So there was actually a whole strip of fabric right across the middle that was upside down. And what I just now noticed is that these don't have that. Like maybe it's on the Be Light, but the Super Bee does not have that fabric going around the top at all. So that won't be a problem with the Super Bee. But on the Be Light, there is essentially a, they're all spilling out of my lap. There's like a strip of fabric that goes across right here at the top of the bottle pockets. This one is the right way. This one is the right way. The right way. The right way. And the right way. So that was a random sample of 5 different bee lights, and they all had that strip of fabric in the right direction, not upside down, so that is good to see, because I know people were really upset about that in some of the last releases. Does the fabric feel the same as all Toki, crispy, inside satin or original Toki lining? Yes, crispy is a good word. These bags feel crispy. They're definitely like, they've got that crunchy kind of feel to them, and I think that's what I'm saying is that durable feeling. They just feel nice and durable. Is the lining flimsy like the Walmart bags? No, the lining is actually really, really nice. I think I showed it pretty well earlier in the video, so I won't pull the lining out again, but it's a nice, very thick feeling. I really, really like how it feels. Are there any changes to the Super Bee? Let me take one last look because I think someone commented earlier. Yeah, all right, so look, this is something that I did not mention. The Super Bee used to have a snap back here. Now it is a magnet. It is definitely not a satisfying magnet, like you can't let go of this and it pops back, but it does hold once you put it there. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of liked the snap on my old Super Bee, but it holds pretty well. It's not as satisfying of a hold as you might like it to be, but it's not bad. I need to know your thoughts on the updated quick design and how you feel about the 1 zipper pull on the large bee set piece. You know, so I like the change in the Be Quick. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't use the Be Quick as much anymore. Isn't that crazy to say? I've sort of switched to using more of like the 12 little diapering pouch instead. It just works better with my packing style, size-wise and design-wise. But I do like the updated version of this. I think that it's really nice that you can remove this strap altogether and that you can make it either a wristlet or a clutch like this. I think that's great. Obviously, having more options is always good. So the fact that it comes with a long strap is fantastic. The fact that you can remove this is fantastic. I think like the changes to the size, it's not really a big enough change in size to make a huge difference for me. The padding is a nice touch, but to be honest, I've never really used a Be Quick for things that would need padding in them. But if you're someone who likes to use a Be Quick as a purse and put your phone in there, I think that is really great. Now, you asked about the 1 zipper pull on the Bee set, and to be honest with you, I had not even noticed that. I will say one of the things that I have always loved about the Jujubee large set piece is that it did have the 2 zipper pulls, and that when you put them together, if you had a tiny lock, you could actually lock them. And I did do this back when like my husband was on a lot of medicines that we had to carry around with us. I just was always worried my kids would mistake one of my bags of medicine for a bag of toys and they would open it. So I did keep the Bee set locked sometimes, and that was really convenient. I can't say that I used that most of the time though. I loved the 2 zipper pulls, but I don't really think that this makes that big of a difference, to be honest. I always thought it was cute to put the 2 zips in the middle and let it hang like that, especially if I was wearing it under my arm. So you can't do that anymore, but honestly, the functionality just doesn't really change that much. So looking through these questions, it really looks like I already answered the majority of these throughout the video, so I won't spend any more time re-answering these questions. But of course, if you have other questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer those. I also know that I follow a lot of the content creators and they follow me on here as well, so they might be looking in the comments section as well. I invite you guys, you content creators, Jen, Ivy, like all of you, if you want to comment as well, please do, because that would be a really big help. Okay, so now that we're all done with those questions, the last thing I'm going to do in this very lengthy video is give you a few tips for how to score on release night. Like I said, this is a limited launch. We're never really sure how those are going to go, but it's always good to be prepared. So here are my best tips for making sure that you score on release night. One of the biggest things that I always say, and people always come at me like it's a bad business for me to do this, but I'm just gonna say it, like, go to a trunk show if you have one near you. You are so fortunate to have a retailer near you who is doing a brick and mortar trunk show. You can actually go and touch things for yourself and pick out your print placement. A lot of these boutiques, they do really fun activities and things. It's an amazing experience. I have met some of my lifelong friends, like Sarah, who used to do my first look videos with me. Like, I've just met great friends at trunk shows, and it's a really great way to make sure that you score something. You can always go to a trunk show, and if you can't score what you wanted because they didn't have enough, then you can shop online. There's just no downside to going to a trunk show. They are beautiful, fun, wonderful experiences. They're almost always kid-friendly. You get to pick your print placement. It's just, I encourage you to go and bring your husband if you have to, drag him along. There's usually food. A lot of them sometimes have champagne and stuff. So go have a good time and enjoy getting to see other Jujubee fans and getting to see the print on everything with your own eyes. Now, if you're just not a trunk show person, if you like to shop online, if you don't have a boutique near you, here are the strategies for scoring online. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking about this from the sensible mama standpoint, but I think that you can use this no matter where you plan on shopping. The first and biggest one is do multiple checkouts. Do not try to load your cart up with everything that you want and then go check out. It is the most guaranteed way to make sure that you lose everything. The best thing that you can do is make a list and sort it from like have to have it down to like I'll survive if I don't get it. And you need to go in and you need to add that one thing that's at the top of your list and check out. Do it that way and then make your way down your list, because it is really not so much so on my website. I do think that on launch night on my website, you can probably get a couple of different accessories and make it to checkout in time, just because I do have so many of all of these things. But don't count on that. There is nothing wrong with doing multiple checkouts. What we do at the Sensible Mama is we will combine all of your orders and refund shipping where appropriate. So if you've spent over $50 in all of your transactions, then we will refund you for all of the shipping costs. It's a lot of work for us, but it's something that we have always wanted to do for you guys. So there's no risk to doing multiple checkouts, and it will at least make sure that you score something from the release. Again, I don't think this is as big of a deal for my website because I have so many, but if you're shopping on Shop Jujubee or with another retailer, the multiple checkout strategy is a good one to use. I also highly recommend paying through PayPal. It just tends to be the fastest and least buggy way of checking out. And what you can actually do is log into PayPal and have that tab open on your browser, and then shop through the Sensible Mama in a different browser. And that way, since you're already logged into PayPal, when you go to pay, everything is immediate. You don't have to log in because you're already logged in. It just goes really fast, and that's a really great way to get out of checkout land as fast as possible with as much as possible in your cart. I say this on every launch night, but it's important to check your Wi-Fi connection when you're shopping online. Sometimes it's good to move your computer close to your router if you're on a laptop. That is going to help with your speed a little bit. So just do a really quick Wi-Fi check. Make sure that you have a strong signal before you get ready to shop. The Sensible Mama does offer Sezzle, so that is a way for you to get more things in your cart and pay over time instead of paying all of it up front. But I just like to give this caveat that the Sezzle process can slow down the checkout a little bit, and it's usually going to be faster if you can to pay outright, because the Sezzle thing will slow you down and keep you in checkout land a little bit longer. If you already have a loyalty rewards account with the Sensible Mama, make sure that you are logged into your account before you shop. One thing that we probably cannot do for you is go back and manually adjust your loyalty points. If you are in a hurry and you don't, go ahead and log into your account beforehand, just because if everyone asks to do that, it's a lot. So it doesn't take much time at all to just a few minutes before the launch, get onto our website, log into your account, so that way you make sure to earn your loyalty. Earn your loyalty reward points when you shop, so that you can get cash back in the store to support your addiction to other things that we carry at the Sensible Mama. Lastly, we do, to the best of our ability, honor print placement requests. However, that can be really tricky because often, first of all, we have to have the placement that you're looking for, and that's luck of the draw. Second, there's often very similar print placement that everyone is looking for, and in that case, we just try our best. We make no guarantees that we can honor your print placement request, but you can put the request in the notes of your order, and we'll do our best. Please do not email our customer service email or my personal email address with your print placement request. I mean, you can, but we're not going to be looking at those, so it has to be in the notes of your order, or else we can't honor it. All right, guys, so that's everything that I wanted to say in this video. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Love ya, mean it, always, mwah, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.